Today on the show, we're gonna do a new format called Comic Quick Snips, where I tell you about a hidden gem that I think you might like.
So tell me about a book. What's your pick of the week?
Well, I randomly picked up Orc Stain by James Stokoe.
Orc Stain, what's that about?
It's all about orcs.
What's an orc?
You know orcs, Lord of the Rings. They're like those you know.
Oh, like in The Hobbit?
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
the monsters.
Yeah.
So, Orc Stain, what's it about?
The whole concept of the whole book was that the author/artist got in a fight with his friends about orc culture, and he felt like the Lord of the Rings was really unfair to orcs, and that they were culturally ignorant towards the orcs, and that he wanted to delve more into what orc life was like and explain like how they work and how they're not like evil, they're not like amoral, they just don't know any better, they're just stupid. Which I think is really fun, like it's really interesting. I like that a lot.
So this whole book explains how orc society works.
Yes. Kind of. I mean, not every little aspect of it, but yes, it does. Orcs are essentially like the putties of the Lord of the Rings world. Like, they're always there to get in the way, and then they never hurt anybody, and they just get cut down and, like, chopped in half, like, left and right. But they never, like, put a scratch on anybody. They're like droids. They're like droids in the Star Wars Episode 3.
So orcs are completely useless.
Pretty much. Within the movies, they just are there to get murdered. And look evil. So yeah, orcs are like born out of like this sack, you know, because of witchcraft. They're not like born out of somebody and grow up. They're just born and they're there, and like they just hand them a knife and then they go like, oh, I'll go kill some people. And they're like, oh, okay. And you know, and there's like no, like they don't even get names. Like they're not even named. Like within the book, they're like, I mean, one of them's called Pointy Face. They're just like, Pointy Face, because he's got a pointy face. They don't have names. And then, like, if you even get a gravestone, like, that's a high honor, apparently, in this book. Like, you don't even get a gravestone unless you did some crazy shit. And your gravestone will just have a number on it. It doesn't even have a name on it. That's interesting. So Orc Stain follows his character One Eye, and he's like this orc with a conscience, and he's got this hammer, and he's got this mystic ability to, like, see where to, like, hit things to where they all fall apart. Like, he's good at opening things. And the great Orctzar has found out that like there's this god organ that he needs in the north, and it's like gonna give him all this power, but the seer tells him that he's gotta find this one-eyed orc to open it for him and unlock it. So he's got agents all over the place looking for all the one-eyed orcs, like scrounging them all up, including One Eye. So that's the main plot that's going on. Now on the way, there's all this like fun stuff going on. There's all this really fun world building. Okay, there's these like swamp rhombas, which are like swamp witches, and they're like called poison throwers, and that's their whole deal is like they throw poisons at people, and they're all like crazy and all this stuff, and they're like not trusted and kind of feared by orcs. There's also this scene that's a lot of fun where One Eye is hanging out with this asshole named Pointy Face, and then they gotta like get in this Gerpa safe, which like looks like this like fucked up weird bear with like a chicken on its head, and then it's got like a safe in its belly, and then they got to get in it somehow to like get whatever's inside of there out. And then when they like open it up, there's only like this weird crab on the inside. So like they take the crab, and then later on, okay, so the pointy face guy, he has this love nymph, because orcs are only male. There are no female orcs, and they have these love nymphs that they like totally bone all the time that are enslaved. And so he has this love nymph, and he takes the crab, and he like puts some stuff on it, and then he like drinks that, and the crab like starts like throwing up all this stuff, and he drinks it, and then he gets high off of this crab, and all this smoke starts coming out of his mouth, and the love nymph like takes a little sip, and then she gets high, and then they bone. It's totally weird. I love it. It's really good. So apparently within orc culture, their whole society revolves around graunches. And what is a graunch, you may ask? It's an orc dick. That's what it is. Their whole deal is like procuring other orcs' dicks. They use it for money. There's even a thing in the back which shows like how to cut it up into like coin pieces, and it's like really creepy. It's pretty awesome. I really enjoy it.
This just sounds way too far for you to be reading.
Well, man, it's pretty funny. Like, I like that their whole culture is based around the procurement of other orcs' dicks.
Sounds foul, and I'm offended.
Well, that's orcs for you. Shows you how to skin one. 2, slicing. Don't make them too thin or too thick. You know, and then the head part, that's a whole other part that's like They're called chuggets. And yeah, you cut a dick head in half. Cut a dick head in half, it's a chugget, and those are worth more than like these pieces. And the thing that I love most about Orc Stain is that you can tell that James Stokoe is just having a fucking ball. He just loves drawing it, he loves writing it, and I love reading it. You can tell when an artist is thrilled to be making something. I mean, it really shows. And that's not just in comics, I mean, that's in everything. Movies, fine art, whatever. You can tell when someone is just loving it. It's not really heavy reading, it's not gonna like change your life, but it's a lot of fun. I mean, not every story needs to be some grandiose magnum opus, okay? I don't need a sweeping epic all the time, you know? I like small stories.
So who should buy this book?
Well, if you're in the mood for a fun, weird story that has all this like weird orc culture stuff going on in it, if you're in the mood for a fun adventure, I would say pick it up. I hope that he continues with it. The story does not end. This is not a complete story. It's only beginning. So hopefully, let's buy more of these so then the guy will have to make more. I think that if you enjoy like Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit and like fantasy stuff in general, I think that you would enjoy this. If you like weird indie comics, do you like multiple warheads? Well, you probably like this too. It's weird.
Okay, so some big news in the DC universe is that something happened, and you're going to tell me now. What is it?
Oh my gosh. In April, DC is launching their WTF certified initiative.
What?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. What does WTF stand for?
It stands for what the fuck, if you did not know that.
Oh my god, what?
I know. They're
You can't print that on a comic book.
Oh, but they can because
What
it's
about
just,
the children?
It's just children don't read this stuff. It's just people like us.
I've got to tell the Parents' Council.
They're gonna start burning them all, even though no kids read these.
Frederick Wortham is going to roll over in his grave.
What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? Fuck, 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 fuck.
Oh, he's rolling already. Yeah, WTF certified, and it's this stamp that's going on every comic in April. I'm not sure if it's going to go beyond April or not. I've heard different things.
So it's a stamp on comic books that says WTF certified.
Yes.
What about the comics that don't get the WTF stamp?
I don't know if they're all going
What
to be
does that
stamped.
mean?
I think that they might all be stamped with that, like all throughout April, like every single issue that they put out in April will be WTF certified.
How do I know what page is responsible for the WTF?
You're supposed to know it when you see it, because your mind's gonna be blown apparently. And it's just like I know that someone was just like, what's hot right now? You know, what are the kids? What do tech speak? That's the WTF. What does that mean? What are the lol? Can we put that in there? And it just seems odd. I know we had a short episode today, but don't worry, we're gonna come back next week. We're doing this big February 2013 comics roundup where we're gonna talk about all the things that we think are exciting that's going on in comics right now. It's gonna be live. Be there.
And I'll be wearing the same shirt I'm wearing right now.
And I'll be wearing the same thing I'm wearing right now. It's crazy. It's gonna blow your mind. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, like the Facebook page, and follow my ass on Twitter and Instagram. My response to the WTF initiative is, instead of trying to come up with some stupid ass gimmick to get your DC name in the headlines again in news, why don't you just focus on having some good fucking stories, you know? I mean, same thing with Star Wars, you know? Don't worry about spin-offs, just focus on giving me one good thing.
So, Comic Book Girl 19, are there any other DC books that you're excited about that you're reading?
You know, I kind of have a bone to pick with Swamp Thing and Animal Man, I'm not gonna lie.
Bone?
I'm still picking it up because I'm so far into it that there's only like 2 issues left of each one, so I might as well just keep going with it, even though, I don't know, it just hasn't done it for me. It's lagged a whole lot. There's a lot of lagging going on where Animal Man's just driving around, running away half the time. Boring. And then, like I said, when Rot World started, it just was like, no. I'm gonna knock out some of those pregnancy rumors. I think I look fat or something.
How pregnant does this look, asshole?
I will say that I did judge a book by its cover, and I picked this up because I really like the artwork. Lucky for me, it's actually a good story too. I mean, it's simple, it's fun, it's not anything that's like, or crazy complex or anything, but I really enjoyed it, and I hope that he comes out with another one.